One Piece chapter 1057 is out, so we're going to talk about it. It is titled The Final Curtain. It's pretty interesting. This was kind of the last episode of Wano, or the last chapter of Wano, so it was pretty good. We got to reminisce on a lot of stuff. Momonosuke is heavily involved, Yamato, the Straw Hats, Giemon, etc. So let's get into it. The people of the Flower Capital, they're all gathered together. They're basically having a discussion, explaining what all happened, basically summarizing the entire Wano war, the arc, everything that happened, including Kaido, Big Mom, etc. And then we cut to Yamato, Momonosuke, and Giemon, where it's confirmed that Yamato is not joining the crew. This kind of makes me a little bit sad, but at the same time, I can kind of understand it. I love Yamato's character, but at the same time, I feel like Yamato has to grow outside of Odin. And so having her on the crew would be really, really, really broken. I mean, she was probably on the level of Zoro, Kid, and Law, Sabo, like around that range. So the fact that she's not joining the crew makes sense. Like I said, in the final war, you know, the different admirals, probably going to be a Kainu, Kizaru, Admiral Kugyu. Not really sure about Fujitora. Like, there's a lot of players out there, and like, there's a lot of matchups that are going to happen that we don't know about. And so Yamato joined the crew. Like I said, it would just be ridiculously strong. They already have Jinbei, they already have Sanji, Luffy, and Zoro, and so Yamato on there would just be really broken. Like I said, I really do miss her. I really wish she was going to join, but at the same time, Luffy never called her Yamato until like the end of this chapter. He called her like Yamo or Yama bro or something like that. And typically whenever Luffy gives somebody a nickname, that means they're not going to join the crew. It is what it is, though. I know a lot of people didn't want her to join, and a lot of people did. So, you know, let me know if you guys want her to join the crew in the comment section below. And in the last chapter, pretty much everybody but Giemon and Momonosuke, they were informed that Luffy and the others were leaving, and so Momonosuke and Giemon, they're mad because they're like, after everything we've been through, y'all are just leaving us like that. We're reminiscing, get a lot of flashbacks with Momo talking about him first meeting Luffy, and then him and Luffy fighting, you know, disagreeing and stuff. Then there's the scene with Zao talking about Momo, what do you want to do? There's also that scene in Udon talking about Momo, you gotta be a leader, etc. Just showing how Luffy is making Momonosuke grow, and how he's kind of like an older brother figure to him, somebody that's really important. It just shows Momonosuke reminiscing, like, dang, I really need this guy. I need my older brother. I'm going to miss Luffy and the others. I just find that so heartwarming. Like I said, a lot of the chapter was dealing with those flashbacks, but it's like, but you know, we needed that for Momonosuke to really like have the emotional impact that happens later in the chapter. And I find it funny because Giemon, he's like, yo, you know, they disrespected the Shogun. If need be, I'll cut him down. I'm like, Giemon, what you gonna do, right? You can even defeat Kaido. You couldn't do nothing. You can't do nothing. And Yamato's like, well, I think you guys are kind of overreacting just a little bit, because they are a little bit, but at the same time, after everything they've been through, I can kind of understand why they'd be upset and why they're like, yo, y'all didn't even say goodbye. And then we cut to Trafalgar Law, Kid, and Luffy, their crews, and they're like, yo, if we see each other on the seas, as soon as we leave here, we're enemies. He's like, so don't treat us buddy. And Luffy's like, okay. And then Chopper, he's like, bye, Traffy. It's just so hilarious. I love it. And then finally, Momonosuke and the others catch up to them, and Luffy looks, and he calls them monsters. He tackles Luffy. He's like, yo, after everything we've been through, how are you leaving me? And then Momonosuke, he starts breaking down. He's like, I need you, you know, after everything, you know, you taught me. You're like an older brother to me, so you can't just leave me and be so sad when you leave. And I find it funny because everybody else on the crew who's experienced Momonosuke, like Zoro, you know, training him, talking about, yo, you know, this is like a pitiful sight. And then Nami, she's like, yo, he's still a kid on the inside, so like, cut him some slack. And Luffy's like, oh, well, here's the thing, right? He said, Usopp, go ahead and bring it out. I'm like, what's Usopp bringing out? And he ends up tossing him a flag of the Straw Hat, meaning that this is now Luffy's territory. He says, yo, if anybody ever tries to do something to Wano or my friends or anything like that, just point to this flag and it'll show that we're here and that this is my territory and that I'm going to protect you. And so showing that Luffy's now a Yonko, right? Yonkos have different territories. Wano's now his territory, no longer Kaido's. And so Luffy, is probably one of the strongest in the series already. Zoro's up there as well, Sanji as well. So the fact that now Wano is his territory, nobody's going to try to mess with him. And I feel like eventually, like, people are going to, other countries are going to start doing it, like Fishman Island, Alabasta, Dressrosa are probably going to adapt it as well. And I just love that Luffy now has his own territory, meaning he really is a Yonko. And then Luffy, he offers them to join the crew. He's like, yo, if any of you guys change your mind, you want to be pirates, you can always join the crew, right? You're always welcome here, but I don't want any weaklings on the crew. And as they're leaving Momonosuke, he's crying. He's like, yo, he's like, I'm going to surpass Kazuki Oden. Because I believe in one of the recent chapters, it talks about Momonosuke eventually being and growing up to being a great leader, one that surpassed Kazuki Oden. So I just find that cool, right? I really wish Yamato joined, but it is what it is. And so as they're leaving, right, Nami's like, yo, Nami and Law, the Strauss and Law, they're going like down the safe path. And the kid's like, oh, you guys are small fry, y'all really taking like the easy way out. And Law and Luffy, they're like, who the fuck are you talking to? So they end up changing courses. Luffy like, Jinbei, give me this helm. And so he snatches the helm from him. And so they end up, because originally they were going to go down like the safe paths, but then when Kid called him out, and because they, when they entered Wano, they had to go up, the waterfall with the carps and stuff. And so now since he snatched the wheel, they're all going like just jumping off of the jumping off the waterfall. I just find it funny, and because of how competitive the three are. Then we cut back to the Flower Capital, talking about how Big Mom and Kaido were defeated and how Orochi was defeated as well. And they're really just explaining everything that happened, specifically the Orochi part. And basically they're trying to talk about what the Kazumi did and how Hiyori, she was there with Dendro. Dendro cut him down. And so Hiyori kind of gave him a farewell, or Orochi a farewell. We have the scene where Oden talked about, I'm Kazuki Oden, I was born to boil. And then she ends up telling Orochi that the Kazumi, that they were born to burn, because he was burned by Kanjuro, and kind of ironic because Kanjuro was a Kazumi as well. So the fact that after everything they've been through, how she burnt her father, Orochi had her father burning in Odin, or like burning like Odin. The fact that the Kazumi were born to burn, I find that a great scene. Hiyori had such a dope moment. And at the end of the chapter, they talk about how great the Kaizen is, and if including Izo and Ashura Doji, they died, but now if you look at it, they have Shinobu joined, and I guess Yamato. There's like a picture of all the Kaizen samurai together with Momonosuke, so him as the new shogun with the rest of the new members, I guess you could say, or the old plus new members. I find that cool. And then Momonosuke at the end of the chapter, he's like, now I need to find a place to hang this flag up. It's probably going to be in the middle of the Flower Capital. But then we cut to the curtains closing, so it's the final act of Wano, and so Wano is confirmed to be done. It's officially over. Overall, I'm gonna have like a couple videos probably over the next few days or next couple of weeks, probably next 2 or 3 weeks, talking about things in Wano. What I'm going to do probably over the next couple of days is reread the entirety of Wano to give my final thoughts. I'm going to do a review of Wano. I'm going to do things that I wish was changed, talk about characters' deaths, talk about what else? Just a lot of stuff Wano related, because I do think Wano was a good arc. Obviously it has some issues, but it is what it is. I just want to give my thoughts about it now that it's completely finished. Overall, though, it was a really decent chapter. Like I said, the Momonosuke stuff was very emotional after everything they've been through. Think about it, Punk Hazard was about 10 years ago, and that's when we got introduced to him. So they were there from Punk Hazard, from Dressrosa, from Zao, all the way up to Wano. So a lot of stuff happened. And so them not gaining, they did gain Jinbei. So I think this is going to be the final crew until One Piece is over. But overall, like I said, decent chapter. Let me know your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never start a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok is on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.